Hello and welcome to part 3. It's the same day as part 2, but you'll be watching it in a different time. On today's video I'm going to be attempting to put this top hatch in there, and then once I've got it in, what I need to do is weld it across there, down there a bit, and on that corner. Actually the only support it's going to have when I put it on is that there, if you can see it there. And then once it's on, I can tie it in with this and then weld it in and then seal it in with the sealant that I showed you in the last video. So here goes. Right, I'll see if I can lift this up and get it in. It's going to be a big heavy lump. So here goes nothing. I might need to get someone to give me a hand with this. Don't think I'm going to do it. We'll give it a go. No, I'm not going to do it. If I get it from the bottom. Right. No, I'm not going to be able to do it. I need some help. Whew, that was tough. I thought, get my dad to come and give me a hand. He didn't want to be on video, so there you go. I've got that on there. So like I said, I'll give it a just take the paint off where it's been painted to bare metal. It needs to be bare metal when you're welding, otherwise it just won't do it. Get it tacked on. That's another job done. Get the gas strut on once I've welded it, and then I'll show you how it opens. I will explain a bit more detail on these gas struts. I do make my own little supports for them. I mean, you can buy them, but I make them out of 20mm angle and just drill an 8mm hole in them, and they work out pretty good, but I'll show you that a bit later on. Just wanted to show you this. I've got it welded in, like I said, at the top. I haven't sealed it in yet, so all this will be getting filled and sealed and bolted as well for extra. But you can see that there, bolted through and welded on top, so it's going to be sealed. I've just put this bit of wood in here. Obviously it will go higher than that, and get the gas strutting. I'm going to start to be doing that in the next couple of days. I've got a bit of work to do on my bars, so I won't be able to do any more work on this for a couple of days. Also, I'll show you I've sealed in there with the sealant all the way along the bottom and all the way in there. Obviously it's paintable sealant, so once it's gone off. Also, I always, all the time, when these come out the factory original, they don't have any sealant in there, so any water that comes down and goes through there and into the wood floor and rots it. So I always make sure that I seal all these, and then up there, see at the back there, sealed all in there, all the way. Just keeps it dry. And then all in the front I've sealed. You can see that there, look, all the way around. Cool. So next time you see it, I should be putting gas struts in, hopefully. Right, so as I explained earlier, I was going to show you how I put these gas struts on, and I make my own. This is just an example. I'll put it on there. So it's just two two 45s, and then it's just a piece of 20mm angle. And what I do, I don't know whether you can see it in this light, you can see the cross on it. Can you see the black cross there? That's just a centre. So I drill an 8.5 hole through there, and then that fits somewhere, this is just an example, somewhere about there. And it points, it doesn't fit on its square, it points. I mean, that's square there, but it actually points in a bit because it has to run true to the to that angle of there. So I have to put it somewhere like that. And then I weld that in there. As I say, I'll put an 8.5 hole in there, and I do the same up there on that one. If you see, I put a bit of reinforcing plate. I welded that a couple of mil thick just to reinforce it because it's a bit weak. And then I'll do one there. These are the gas struts that I use. So I've got a 300 Newton, 350mm long. For actually goes that way. That's another mistake people make, and all. They think that these gas struts go to the thin end goes out, but actually the thick end goes out and the thin end comes in. A bit like on your car. So that's how that'll fit, something similar to that. And then I've got a longer one, which is 400 Newton. So obviously this one's a bit stronger, and obviously it's a bit longer than that one. I'll do the same thing here. I'll put an angle somewhere about there, and then one will fit somewhere roughly up there, but I'll show you as I do that. So yeah, that's just a recap of how they fit. As I said, you can buy these. They don't look like this. They're stainless steel, but they're really thin and they're weak. And I've used them before on other projects, and they're very weak and they end up bending. So these don't, because obviously they're 3mm thick. Better quality, and you just have to make them yourself. Okay. Good morning. This little clip I'm going to do today is weld these on, like I said earlier in the video. It's the 3mm angle, 20mm. I'm going to be putting it in there, and then that's going to fit like so. And then this one I'm going to rivet on up there. So let's see how it goes. Now, welding mask, gloves. I'm just going to tack it on for a start, then take the arm off, and then give it a good weld in position. And the reason I'm welding it in here is because I can't rivet it, because it's it's only on that bit of flat, so it's got to go that way instead of that way. Need to get a good earth, that's most important. I'm going to be running out of room. Just slightly tilting the angle to make that. If I put it on square, it won't shut properly, so just be aware of that. There's a few weird angles on these trailers. Right, that's that in position. Take that off, and then now I can weld that fully, put the gas strut back on, mark me 2 holes in there for rivet, drill and rivet it, bolt it, put the nuts on, tighten them up, and then that should hold, hopefully. If not, I'll have to put another one in there. Normally one's not enough on this one, because these smaller ones I always order, well, that's a 300 Newton, so it might be strong enough. Fingers crossed. Right, just put one good weld up and then that'll hold it, he says, without the earth on. try again. Ow. That is good enough. I'll just see if I can get a close-up of that. So there you go. So that's just in there. And that goes in there with a nut and washer. And then I can fit the top bit on by rivet, and that should hold it. So I'll do that now. Right, last one in. Okie dokie, that's that in. Will it shut? Let's find out. Oh yes. Open sesame. Right, that's done. So it's only needed one, so that was lucky. Right, next one. Main hatch. That bad boy next. See how it goes. Right, so on this one, there's no welding required. It's just a bracket on there and a bracket on there. So what I do, I'll put the brackets on before I drill it, just so I get the holes in the right place. So that wants to go. I'm going to put that on the bottom there, like that. And that one up there somewhere. So I'll just mark this one first. Just use a little Sharpie. Mark my two holes. Drill them. And get that installed. Two rivets. Oh. Before you put the first rivet in, just put the second rivet in the hole. Just helps you. Because if it moves on the first rivet, you can guarantee you're not getting your second rivet in. I think I might have just made a boo-boo. Might be alright. Thought I'd got that too close then. We'll find out. I might have got that too close to this, so that when that shuts it might hit this. But there's only one way to find out, and that's to put it on. If you do make a mistake, all you have to do is drill the rivets out. If you have to drill new holes, you can soon fill the old holes in with weld, so don't worry if you make a mistake. Everyone makes mistakes. Hopefully I haven't, but We'll find out shortly. Right, so that's up there now. I've set this at the right height again with the bit of wood, so I know that it's got runoff for the rain. So now I'm going to just put that there and mark it. That's one in. I'll drill that. Put the first one in. I'm only going to do one because I've got to take it off. One will be better than two. Just going to have to take that off first. Unfortunately, can't get the... Alright, let me just take this off. It's a bit fiddly. Can't get the rivet gun in because of the gas struts in the way, so I'm going to have to take it off. And I'll put a nylon nut on it. That's the other thing as well, you always need nylon nuts. With it moving about a lot, opening and closing, if you just put normal nuts on, they will come loose. I'll try this again. I'm just going to put a normal nut on for now, until it works. Fingers crossed. I do a lot of fingers crossed when I do these jobs. Right, let me go outside. You're going to see before me. Let me know if it hits. Oh, bloody no, that's tight. I'll need another rivet in. That gas strut is far too tight. I think I'm going to have to order another gas strut. That is far too meaty. Which one are we using? What does it say? 400 newtons. Well, it might be a bit too much, that. Alright. I'm going to have to come back to this one, I think. Because that is just too tough. I need a softer closing than that. Right, I'll have to have a rethink. So, as you can see, I've had to take this off. I ran into a couple of problems. One being, I've set it too high, so that when it comes down, when I close it down, it runs out of space on here and it doesn't shut. So what I'm going to have to do is set this end further along and this end further down, so it's like that. So if you have it like that, when you close it, it just runs out of space. It's a stupid error that I've made probably 13, 14, 15 times and I still keep doing it. But so we're not, we are human. Should learn by your mistakes, but I don't, obviously. So what I'm going to have to do is take a chunk out of there, drop that down, put it back on. I'll have that hole to fill. I'll have a couple of holes on there to fill, but they're easy doable. So it just means I've wasted probably an hour. But that's what you get with these trailers sometimes. Right, I'm going to do that off camera and then I'll show you the result. Last one going in. Right, so all I need to do now is put this in here and we'll see if it closes. After that monumental mess up that I've done. I really need to be 300 newtons these because the 400 newton are slightly too tight. Well, then again, I've used 400 before off a different supplier and they've been fine. I've even used 500, so that's why I ordered 400. It's like a pair of shoes or a pair of jeans, you know. You never get the right sizes if you order from different companies. Right, let's see if that shuts. Fingers crossed again. It's not too bad, that. Yes! So that has shut. I do put handles on, obviously. There's one fits there on the outside, and there's one fits on the outside on that one. So they are all... Oh, getting too old for this. So yeah, stick an handle about there. It's mark centres, otherwise you can't open the damn thing. There you have it. So in a space of about, well, if you want an hour's wasting on that last one, I'll put them in about an hour, I would say, for both them gas struts. And I've only used one. So I said before in on my earlier videos, a lot of these I've two on, but as you can see, that is quite sufficient for that opening. Right, next job, let's have a look. I think we're around the back. So what I'm going to do next, I'm building two back doors and they're going to be situated on each one, so when it opens as a full door. So I'm going to make the framework right round to there, to centres, and then down, so like a square box section or with a radius on it. And then same here. Now I'm going to use 2mm mild steel, zinc plated again. Weld that sheet to the box section, weld the box section to this, and then seal it up the middle. And then as you open them two, they'll open as two full doors. And then I've got to organise some sort of locking system for this. I think I'm going to bolt it from the inside, and then them two openings that I've just done with the gas struts on, they're going to be bolted from the inside, so it's all locked, so it's secure for security reasons, really, obviously. So yeah, I'm going to do that next. So the next little clip you'll see me, I'm going to be fabricating the ironwork for this, and then I'll show you what I do from there. So this is a quick drawing I've done of the measurements. As you can see, it's 350 to the radius and 550 from the centre of the trailer. I'm going to leave a 5mm or 10mm gap in the middle for shutting. I'm going to overlap it anyway, so that won't make any difference. And the left one is slightly small, going to be slightly smaller than the right one. I've measured from centre of the trailer and there's 5mm difference, so
that side is going to be 755 across, and the left one here is 750mm across. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut these to length first. These ones, that's 650. I'm going to lay them out on the flat table in the garage, and then I'm going to work out this radius. So I just want to show you, this is how I do it. Take all the measurements, build it up, and then once I've got these all in and square, I'll be able to make this radius. What I'm going to do, I'm going to make the bottom piece out of box section, and all these other 3 or 4 pieces I'm going to make from angle, and that way I can cut the angle segment by segment, squeeze it in to produce that radius, but I'll show you that in another clip. Okie dokie, so I'll just show you what I'm doing here. So I've got the bottom box section in 20mm angle, so that's the first one. That is a 350 going up, that's the start of the radius. And then we've got the angle going up there, which is 650, and then the one going across there was 550. So I'm just going to show you what I'm going to do now. I'm going to put these couple of bits of wood in just to hold it. On the edges I've obviously used these clamps. They're very cheap, about £3 or £4 each, these clamps. They're brilliant, so they're not very expensive. Obviously I can't get them on here, so I'm just going to make this little bit of a jig. Put that one in there, then I'm going to put one across there. So I'll get them in, and then I'll show you after I've got a bit of a cheat to do the next one. So I'll just bang a couple of screws in. I've squared it off, so I've got my line there, so I know this is square. On that line, I've got a line on it to follow. And then I can just clamp the angle to the wood if I want, and I know it's not going to move. So that's that one in. I've also got a line here that I've marked, so I know that that's square. As long as you're square, you can't go wrong really. Although having said that, the trailer isn't square. Got a couple of mil. Either way is not going to hurt anyone. So that fits there like that now. So if I'll just grab a couple of clamps, give me 1 second. My clamp collection. I'll just put one in there. Is that one on? Another one on there. Like so. So I know now that all that is square within say a mil or a couple of mil. So I can tack them in position now. And then what I'm left with is these 2 points here, so I need to work out that radius next. But the cheat is, now that I've got this frame like this, I know I did say there is a bit of difference between both doors. One's 750, the left one, which is this one, and one's 755, so it's 5mm wider on the other door. All I need to do, I can still use this, but just flip it, change that to that side and flip it, because I know now that where my positions are. I'll add 5mm to it. As as I say, this is square. My bench is square anyway, so it helps me. And I'll just turn these angles the other way around, and then I know that once I flip it, it'll be the opposite direction, which I want. So that's what I shall do. So I need to work the radius out next, which is going to be challenging. All I'm going to do is use a basic angle again, like so. Imagine that's in there. And all I'm going to do is put some cuts every 10mm, 10-15mm, like that, and then I'll bend it round in the vise until I get my curve, until I meet both these edges. I'm going to make a template as well out of cardboard. I shall make a template. So all I have to do is stick a bit of cardboard in that corner, get a marker pen, mark it, cut it, and that's my radius, and that's what I'll work from. So it's a nice little cheat just to help you get the right radius. Okay, let's crack on. My microphone's not working at the minute, so I'll have to do a voiceover. As you can see, I'm pointing at the top of the trailer. I thought it was square, but it isn't. It's got a slight angle on it. So what I'm going to do is use my 2-foot, plumb it up from the back of the trailer, and try and get the angle with my 2-foot, because that there with the red clamp on is square at the minute, and I want a slight angle on it. So I'm going to use the 2-foot. There you can see it. Right, next stage, as you can see, I've changed that so it's not square anymore. I just took my 2-foot, like I said, and used it to form the angle. Real easy 2-foots, I've been using them for years. They're better than the things you buy to measure angles. Just get a 2-foot on it. So as you can see, it's just got a slight angle on it from being square. And then, as I said earlier, I've just got a bit of cardboard, marked it as top, so that's the join. And then if I place that somewhere there, look. So you've got my measurements, your square, square, your angle, and then I've just traced that off the trailer. So all I need to do now is cut a piece of angle. I'll cut it a bit longer than I need, and then as I said before, I'll cut it in strips, start manipulating it, and just keep putting this to it to either bend it more or less. And once I've got the right radius and it's true to that bit of cardboard, I can weld it in and then stick it in there, cut it to length, weld it in, get it all welded in, and that's that one done. And then we'll trial and fit it. As I say, if it's not a perfect fit on the trailer, it doesn't matter. We can make the other one bigger or smaller to suit this. It's only going to be fractions anyway. So, right, I'll get that made up, and then I'll show you the results. That is the result. So as you can see, that's it there. All the little segments I've cut around. If you don't cut, I often think you don't need to cut as many, but if you don't, what'll happen is you won't get a nice bend. You'll get like a 50p sort of shape, if you know what I mean. So the more cuts you have in, the better it is, in my opinion. Yeah, so that's the result. Just to make a note, I measured from the trailer. I'll show you and it'll be easier, because obviously you've got to get the radius start point in the right place. If you're a bit like that, you'll be up the garden path. So what you need to do is, when you mark your template on here,
So I marked it with a cardboard, so something like that. If you see that mark there, look, it corresponds with 350mm. So that 350mm I marked there, and I traced it onto this like that across there. So when you get back to putting it together, you've got the template in the right place. Well, that's a very important factor. So that is 350mm from there to there. So I know now when I put that mark at that starting point, 350mm, I know that that's in the right position. And you know, it touches all the way around. So it's not going to be perfect, don't get me wrong, but for what I need for this job, it's going to be good enough. Right, that's the end of the day today. So I'm back tomorrow. I'm going to be welding that up. Just need to put some, I mean, in all honesty, you don't really need to weld it all in. It's still got the integrity, the strength in the back there. It's not going to go anywhere, but I'm just going to tack it in. If I feel like I'm going to weld it all in, I might do. Depends what mood I'm in. If I don't, I'll just probably fill it with filler. But in all honesty, it does really need welding to make it look proper. All right, I'll see you in the morning. Right, I'm just going to give you a close-up. I've got the camera in my welding mask, and I'm just going to show you the welding. I don't know whether you can see this. I'll give it a try. I'm just filling up the gaps. Taking your time. I'm just doing one and missing one. Right, there you go. Quick update this morning. I've got this welded in now. As you can see, welded, and then a close up on that. I've welded the back side. I'll show you in a second, because the plate is going on this side, so you won't actually see any of this. So I've just welded the side that you see, and you'll see that from inside the trailer. There's a couple little snags in there, but I'll just run a bead of sealant in there before I paint it, so everything will be invisible. So like I said in the earlier clip, now that I've turned that round, it is the opposite side. So this one is actually this side of the door, but now that I've turned that round, this is the exact template of what I need for the other side, apart from the 5mm length, which is a bit larger. So I'll just stick 5mm on this square edge here on the jig, which I've already got there. I just need to change it around a little bit, but it'll only take 5 minutes. So I'm not going to do a video on that one because it's exactly the same as this. So next time you see these, hopefully I'll be welding them on the trailer with the metal sheet on. Okay. Oh, that's one side placed in. I just wanted to show you it. I haven't welded it in yet. What I'm going to do is weld it in there, both sides, and that should hold it. That's the gap, 5mm gap that I said, and that's the framework in that side. Look, I've just wedged it in for now. It's not actually in place, but it's looking all good. It's best to double check. I know I did say I'd use a jig to make it easy for me. It wasn't actually any good in the end, because this side is not the same as that side, unfortunately. So it's a good job. That's why it's always best to double check it before you weld anything up. That's you'd be in deep trouble otherwise. So yeah, I double checked it this side and it wasn't the same. So what I did was I put the framework in. I just tacked it and put it in to see, and then I had to break the weld just to drop it down in that corner, because it wasn't the same as this corner for some reason. I thought it would be, but it wasn't. I just thought I'd show you that. Right, I've got them in, as you can see. Wasn't as easy as I thought it was going to be, but they're in. So just to explain, just welded them on the tops and on the back side. I got 4 good welds either side. I don't know whether you can see, I'll put some stoppers on either side. So I'm going to put some 3x2 on the inside. I think they're 12 mil thick them, so I'll drill a couple of 12 mil holes and that'll secure the top. And then I'm going to put a 3x2 in there as well, so that when they're shut, I'm going to put 2 stoppers on the bottom, so it's stopped at the top and the bottom, just to secure it in. 2 handles on the edge, 2 handles here, and then I put a 30mm bit of flat just to hold it in place so it doesn't flap about. And then at the top I put a 30mm bit of flat all the way around to stop water getting in. I mean, it will attract some water, but you can't get away with it. It's because of the doors opening. You could put something behind it, but I think I'm just going to leave it. It's going to be all right. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for part 3. I'm going to be starting part 4 tomorrow, but I don't want to make the videos too long. Just another little bit of information for you. These are draft excluder tape, and what I do with them, I'll put one there, and then on the serving hatch and the main hatch, I also put it on the inside of the angle as well, just to, when you open and close the serving hatches, it just cushions it and nothing can get behind it. So that was just another thing I wanted to mention. Get them on eBay, I think they're about a £5. Yeah, so I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I'll say I'm starting the other one tomorrow. I'd really appreciate it if you give me a thumbs up. If you need any information, leave me a comment, or leave me a comment if you thought you could do it differently to what I have. Like, for example, could I double skin this to make it look better on the inside? Yeah, of course I could double skin it, but then it would cost a lot more and a lot more time for me to do. I do these as cheap as I can for people. The lady who's booked this one in, it's going to be about £8,500 by the time I finished it. But there's a lot of hours go into it. There's 3 months work, maybe 3.5 months, depending on how I get on with this back table coming in and out of here with a pizza table on. Costings wise, really, you're probably looking at £2,500. Because you've got £1,000 for your trailer, and then £1,500 for everything else, your electrics, all your body work, your hinges, you know, all the structural work that goes on in it. The lady who's got this one, she's putting all her own equipment in it, so that's going to be that's why it's a little bit cheaper. I mean, some people can charge up to £15,000 on eBay, which I think is stupid, and the £8,000, £9,000 mark's about where you want to be with these. But having said that, these trailers are going up and up all the time, because they are getting everyone's buying them and doing them, so they are starting to go up. But yeah, that's the finished article on them doors. Well, not finished article, but right now I think they've worked out all right. Right, that's it. I'll see you in part 4.